Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm so excited for you guys to be here today. This is a recap of the 9th and final round of the CMRA, or the Central Motorcycle Road Racing Association, here in the south of the United States, and it was an awesome, epic day. The TLDR is that I had 4 races: the A Superbike, Formula One, Heavyweight Twins, and B Superbike. For those that are unfamiliar with the classes, A Superbike basically means your 1000cc, Formula One also 1000cc with like kind of anything goes modifications, and then B Superbike is essentially Gixxer 750, Suzuki Gixxer 750s with modifications, and the Heavyweight Twins is Heavyweight Twins, right? So large displacement twins. So typically your Ducati 899s, 959s, 1098s, and then also our association allows for triples. So you'll see like a Daytona 675 or 765. So that's also in the mix too. So a pretty diverse crowd. Really fun types of bikes in that one as well. The day actually started out really rough for me. I actually placed dead last, absolutely dead last in my first race, and I can tell you that was a rough way to start a race day. I was absolutely brutal, but then I was able to kind of regroup and find myself and find my rhythm. The Formula One race finished 5th out of 18, and then I was able to really get it together for the final 2 races in the Heavyweight Twins of Formula One and won both races. And not only that, I actually set a personal best on the very last race, on the very last lap, and it was just an amazing way to round out the season, an amazing way to round out the year for me. What I'll do here is I'm gonna just share bits of the races throughout the day, because I don't think anyone wants to sit here and watch like a 45-minute video of all 4 races, right? So we'll just kind of do little clips here and there of the races and kind of fun parts that I think that you should check out. So the first race here is the A Superbike. So again, this is against your 1000cc's Panigale V4, S1000RR, a freaking HP4 was in there. So it's just like a really high displacement, really powerful bikes. And I quickly learned that I am god awful at race starts. Quick thing to note here is that the CMRA and most racing associations at the club level will grid based on points, and because I'm new to this race, I didn't have any points, so I got gridded in the back, which was pretty brutal to start with in the first place. I am just god awful at race starts, and I got absolutely murdered. After a couple of corners, we were able to find kind of a rhythm, and the group was kind of established at that point. My goal here was really just to, get a good rhythm and then make my way through the field where possible. But the problem is that I just really wasn't carrying the corner speed that I needed to. So whenever I got on the straight, I wasn't able to build enough of a gap, and then this would happen over and over and over again. Eventually though, I was able to make some passes. But then unfortunately, the latter half of the race, I made mistake after mistake. After mistake. And each time I made a mistake, I just got passed by more and more folks, to the point where at the end of the race, I turn around and I am dead last, and that was like a very humbling experience. I was completely just aghast. Like, I didn't expect to have been punished that hard, but lesson learned, right? I think the most important part here was that you really want to focus on riding cleanly, right? And not rushing corners, right? Like, each of these mistakes was when I basically was just rushing a corner, which resulted in other people passing me. And the other part that I think was really important for me was just trusting that I had the corner speed. And so I try to take some of that learning and apply it into the second race, which is the Formula One race. So luckily with Formula One, in the past I've finished top 3 pretty much in every time that I've showed up for this race. And so I was gridded further up in the front. Again, had a pretty rough start. And then I had to work my way back through the crowd yet again, but this time my pace was a bit better and I was able to finish out the race 5th out of 18. So I finished this race in P5, which was okay. I was really hoping to kind of pick up the pace and get into a top 3 finish, but I think the more important thing for me was really kind of like centering myself and focusing on the strengths of the bike, and then also realizing that you really have to look past the person in front of you. It's so easy to target fixate with the person in front of you and kind of just follow their rhythm and follow them on track. And next thing you know, even though you might be capable of going at a faster pace, you end up kind of just mirroring what they're doing. So you really have to train yourself to look past them so you can line up those passes. And so that was kind of what I walked through mentally and did kind of a visualization exercise essentially at lunch break to really prepare myself for the evening races. So the final 2 races of the day were Heavyweight Twins and the B Superbike. Heavyweight Twins, I've done really well in the past. I've won pretty much every single race that I've entered for that class. So I went in there kind of just brimming with confidence, also because I had kind of shaken off the rust after the last 2 races. And so I kind of just went in there with like full attack mode. So I had an okay start, but then I really found my rhythm once I made a first couple of passes in the first lap. And from there, it was kind of an empty field and I was able to take it home for a win. And what was challenging for me though is that immediately after this race, I had to grid up for the next race. So I kind of came back to the pits, got a quick sip of water and immediately went back out for the warm-up lap and gridded for the Beast Superbike, which is against Suzuki GXXR 750s. I think the key was just to keep that momentum that I had found. And so gridded up, had a bad start again. I was able to make a few important passes in the first lap, start to reel the race leader in. I was able to set a new personal best as my last lap of the race day, which made me feel so good. Honestly, I felt really proud that I was able to achieve that because I've been kind of on and off with the CMRA this season. I haven't been as consistent as I wanted to be. I'm trying to balance, doing the mini bike endurance races as well as CMRA, as well as a bunch of other things going on. So I was just really proud that I was able to round off the season, hit this new personal best, get a couple of wins for the final round, and then just kind of hopefully carry that momentum forward into the next season. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was just a really amazing day to finish the season off with, like truly. The paddock was absolutely brimming with racers, and we had something like 30 endurance teams competing on Saturday. We had a bunch of sprint racers across all the different classes. Just a super, super awesome day. So that's it for the CMRA series this year. I think I ended the series with a bunch of podiums that I'm really proud of, and I learned a ton, and I think I made a ton of progress and pace over the course of the season. I just can't wait for next season. Now that we're done with racing the RC8C, we can turn our attention to a few other things that I'm really, really excited about. So one, the Moto3. We finally, at last, received the starter from Italy to start the Moto3. So I'm really, really excited to get some seat time on the Moto3. And then also, I'll be headed to COTA at the end of November. I think I'll bring both the RC8C as well as the Moto3. So if you're there, come by, say hi, let's ride together, and let's just have a ton of fun. As always, guys, smash that like button. It super helps the algorithm. Leave a comment below, and if you're new here, please, please, please consider subscribing. It really, really helps the channel. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.